letters such as Ipan, Katasan, and so on. So I had to look this up, and there are over 100 languages that are being used and spoken in Malaysia itself. So today I will be speaking 3 of them, which are Malay, Bahasa Melayu or Bahasa Malaysia, Mandarin 普通话, and Cantonese 广东话. These are languages that I've grown up learning and languages that I've had a lot of exposure to. So here in school, because Malay is our national language, we all have to learn Malay. And then of course there is English as well. And then depending on the vernacular school that you go to, you could also learn Mandarin or Tamil. bahasa rojak. Tetapi bila saya masih bersekolah, saya selalu dapat A dalam subjek PM. Keputusan PM saya sentiasa lebih baik daripada keputusan bahasa Cina saya. Tapi sekarang selain daripada membuat urusan rasmi atau berkomunikasi dengan abang Grab, kurang sangat bercakap dalam bahasa Melayu. Bila-bila masa jika ada peluang, saya pun akan menggunakan bahasa Melayu untuk berkomunikasi. Kerana malulah sangat jika memesan makanan daripada makcik gerai pun tak okey. Tapi nasib baik saya masih boleh memahami tulisan PM dengan mudah, masih boleh membaca surat rasmi, boleh menolong ibu bapa saya memahami teks PM. Saya berazam untuk membuat lebih banyak video ASMR dalam bahasa Melayu. Dan terima kasih kerana bersokong channel ini. Saya harap kawan-kawan Malaysia saya suka video ini. Okay. Next, I'm going to be speaking in Mandarin 普通话。大家好，大家好。我希望你们一切都好。从小到大，我都是在华校读书的，但是很少在学外练习讲华语，所以我讲华语的程度有点差。平常只是在家里和妈妈、婆婆和我的小狗用华语沟通，平时跟朋友都是讲英文的。直到我大学毕业出来做工的时候，竟然加入了一间以讲华语为主的公司。所以那几年我的华语进步了很多，已经是非常的差了，可是进步了很多。平时沟通是没问题的，但是我还是不善于用华语表达。显然我的中文词汇量很有限，看华文影片或者听华语歌时比较难了解。现在真的是非常后悔没有把华语学好。华语真的是一个很难、非常难学的语言，我真的很敬佩那些只学华语的人。以前在学校学的时候真的很讨厌学华语，可是现在真的是后悔了。我有时还会练习一些华文字，怕以后读不出来、写不出来，那就是太浪费了。谢谢大家支持我的 channel， 我希望以后可以用华语拍更多的 ASMR。 say something. Let me think of an example. 你吃了没有? It doesn't sound as melodic and nice as what you would expect from a Mandarin speaker. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that. And lastly, I'm going to be speaking Cantonese 广东话. I do not speak Cantonese on a daily basis or at all unless I am ordering food. So I had to get my mom's help to help me write out a little script for this. So I understand the basic Cantonese, but there's like a disconnect when I try to speak it, but I'm just going to go ahead. So, 大家好，大家好，我希望大家一切安好。雖然我唔係廣東人，從細到大都會接觸到廣東話。我嘅家人都會用普通話同埋廣東話交流。我每次都會同人家講，我識聽，唔識講，識講少少。平時講廣東話嘅時候，我都會喺腦入邊先從普通話翻譯成廣東話。有時有啲字唔可以直接翻譯，所以我講唔出我想講嘅嘢。平時我會用廣東話叫菜，睇心情，一時用普通話，一時用廣東話。但係我寫緊呢個稿嘅時候，需要我媽嘅幫忙。確實我嘅發音準確，我都練習過幾次自拍呢個片段。但係如果你係平常講廣東話嘅人，一定會覺得我嘅發音好怪。多謝大家支持我嘅 channel， 希望你哋鍾意呢個 video。You'll be able to tell from the amount of cuts in that I was struggling through it. I had practiced what I was going to say beforehand, because otherwise it just wouldn't come to my brain at all. So yeah, definitely one of those languages where I mostly understand what people are saying, but when it comes to speaking it, it's just nothing. And also, from what I mentioned earlier in Cantonese, it's confusing because Cantonese is a Chinese dialect, so all the characters are the same between Mandarin and Cantonese. I think Cantonese has a few of their own because there are some words or characters that you cannot directly translate from Mandarin. So, as I grew up reading this a few times to make sure that my pronunciation was at least there. But I definitely had to refer to a script to make sure all of that came out the way I intended. I'm curious to know whether you find those languages relaxing. Usually, I feel like Cantonese sounds quite harsh. It's just the general tone that people use when they speak Cantonese. Mandarin is quite melodic to me. It's quite a romantic language, I feel. Or maybe that's just because all the Chinese songs I listen to are love songs. I said as well that I really admire people who are able to pick up Mandarin later in life. It's such a hard language. I don't even know where you would start, but props to you. Even for me, someone who is supposed to be fluent in it, Mandarin is so hard. I recently started learning a bit of Korean just casually, just for fun. And I'm amazed at how you can practically pronounce or say or be able to read Korean characters because they use an alphabetic system. Or, an alphabetic system. Whereas in Chinese, I have no idea how you would even go about it. But that's not to say Korean is easy by any means. My toxic trait is thinking that once I learn the alphabet, once I learn each component of the characters, I'll be able to understand Korean perfectly, but that is obviously not the case. There's a lot about it that's really complicated and intricate as well, but it's really fun to learn, so hopefully one day I'll be able to speak some in a video. I don't know. I put off learning Korean, even though I consume a lot of gay content, but I put it off because I just felt like it was a betrayal to me and my heritage and my culture, because my Mandarin is not the best, but I can definitely learn them side by side. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. ASMR is definitely a way for me to practice these languages, and I'm so glad I have that for myself, because it's just like an extra way to put some fire up my butt, to not forget these languages that I grew up learning and speaking. I definitely have more language videos lined up, particularly in Malay. And I also have really wanted to do a Malaysian slang words video, if anyone's interested in that. So, yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I was planning to do this soft-spoken, but I guess I forgot. Maybe next time. Definitely next time. So, I hope you found this relaxing and super tingly as well. I love making language videos, so